Okay, so I'm making this shitty video because I blew 4K on a course because I panicked. I hate making bad decisions. Making bad decisions objectively sucks, and that's what this video is about. When you just screw it up. And I was thinking about this video as a course module probably like 2 days ago, because so often we get to the point of making decisions that put us in worse places than when we even started. Like, when we were making the decision, we were trying to get out of the current circumstance, but it only actually dug us deeper into a pit. It didn't actually pull you any further out. And fuck me. Can't do this right now. I just want to pull my hair out. Dear God, please make me less fat in 2023. Amen. I'm serious though. I fucking hate myself right now. I can't. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. In my whole life, I'm just a mess. I'm an absolute mess. I have tendencies that make me miserable. I don't know how to manage my money. Every time I make money, I lose it. Doesn't matter how much money I make, it goes down the drain. And it just feels like everything is not working. And like I just suck. And like I'm the problem. And I think it's really easy when we come to these consistent forks in the road over time to blame ourselves. And not like blame our decisions, but just blame ourselves as a person for all of the things that are wrong. And I don't think that's the way to go about it. Because that only takes you further down the rabbit hole of self-pity and self-condemnation, which ultimately leads nowhere. So when I was thinking about making this video, I was actually just watching somebody making a video about his journey and self-doubt and all that shit. And it made me think to myself, I already know what to do, and I just refuse to do it. And I'm just avoiding it. I remember the first time I saw my face in a photo shoot, and I just remember thinking, I look so fat. And that thought still recurs like over and over and over every time I see like a digital representation of myself. And the enemy just wants me to stop there. I think some decisions you make in life are just gonna make you feel like a loser, and just because you lose multiple times in a row doesn't mean you're a loser. Losers blame the circumstance and they blame the scoreboard instead of looking at themselves. And you have to be wise about how you take inventory of your decisions and your current outcomes. You have to evaluate the expectations that you had in making those decisions and the outcomes those decisions created. You have to think clearly. You have to order your mind. You can't just let the doubt and the negativity just run around in circles, because that's what negativity does. It goes nowhere. It doesn't go anywhere. It spirals. It just goes in circles like this. Self-obsession is literally this little spiral right here. It just goes crazy. It never ends. Ordering your mind is a sequence of events. It is a process where you take an idea and you move it and you process it. You explore different aspects of it. You visualize the projections of different actions and where they will take you. You think about the cause and effect. You think about how you got here. You think about who it's going to impact. Ordered thinking is very simple. It's just taking an idea and it's ordering it out and it's sorting it out. It's getting your brain to wrap your mind around what you're actually doing. Because so often our brain is just taking something and following it all the way to hell, and it's going nowhere. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's this little void inside, right? It's an idea that we have in our head, and we think that by solving this thing that I'm obsessed about, it's going to somehow change my scenario. That if I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. To be completely honest with you, I'm just trying to get my shit on paper because my brain has just been so broken for the past month, and I've been so angry at myself for just wasting so much money on a product I didn't need. So much of decision making is just evaluating whether you have an information problem or an action problem. Most of the time, we don't actually have an information problem, we have an action problem. If you feel hopeless, you might have an information problem. You might need to get some more clear-minded thinking so that you can actually see the information in front of you clearly and see the options you have. Hopelessness is I don't have any options, perceived lack of options. I feel hopeless because there's nothing I can do. When in reality, there is something you can do, you're just not aware of it. And once you're aware of it, now you have a decision problem. You have an action problem. You don't have an information problem anymore. You have the information, you know what you need to do. Now you need to go do it. That's all there is to it. So in this situation with the course, the $4,000 course that I spent my money on, and I don't want to talk about like where I got it from and who sold me, because like I don't have a gripe with them at the end of the day, although it was frustrating the way that it's been handled. That's besides the point, because it's in the past and it's not something I can control. The only thing I can control, the only thing I can change is the way that I go about making my decisions. And that's what I'm looking at right here. I ran into that hole because I had an action problem. And what I did is I added more information for $4,000, which only made my action problem more painful. Because what it did is added more information, but added no more action, except for busyness. What does that create? Overwhelm and anxiety and misery. You cannot give yourself too much information, because if you do, if you overconsume, if you overspend and just throw your energy towards every single shiny object that promises you to get you where you want to be, which by the way, a lot of things can do that, then you're just going to be like a pinball in a pinball machine, just bouncing from opportunity to opportunity every single time the work gets hard, and you go from being aware to actually having to do the thing. And that's the challenge, is going from the information problem to the action problem. And I've been in the action problem for so freaking long, and if you stay there long enough, you're going to become very depressed, because the void inside of you is still there. The void of unfulfilled potential is still sitting inside of you, but at the same time, you haven't actually done anything with that. So its pain like continues to increase, and soon you start to think that you are the void, that I am unfulfillment, that I am disappointment, that I am depression, that I am depressed or like meaningless because I'm empty, because I haven't fulfilled the potential. When in reality, it's just you're distracted. You're focused on the wrong things. The reason why I made that impulsive decision had nothing to do with the challenge and the circumstance that I was facing, and everything to do with how I was facing it and how I was viewing it. And I didn't understand that the struggle that I was facing was completely normal. To get bored, to panic, to feel anxiety when you're taking on new challenges can be, it can be strong. But that's not a reason to panic and jump ship just because it got boring, or just because you don't feel like you're progressing. That's when you have to double down, is when things get like boring, simply put. And I panicked because I was applying to schools, and I didn't really want to be applying to schools, but I was doing it to get my mom off my back, so I did it. And I was regretting that. And so in a act of desperation, I invested $4,000 into a sales program. Yeah. Some dumb shenanigans for sure. Hey, it's my little spider friend. Anyways, you know, that guy's gonna get big. Please don't keep growing. Dude, I'm fine when wolf spiders are small, but the problem is that they will eat everything and they will continue to grow until they are massive. And I'm not really comfortable sleeping with that, you know? But I was so busy trying to get out of my current suffering and my current circumstance that I did things that were not in alignment with my vision. And that's what happens when you listen to opinions. That's what happens when you let people think for you instead of directing your own mind, which just comes back to the critical importance of being self-directed as a human being and learning how to direct your thoughts in an ordered and organized and intentional manner to achieve the vision you want, because your vision is attainable. Somebody's already done it. The question is, what voices are you listening to in your head? Because if you wake up every day and you're not motivated and you can't get out of bed and you feel so like depressed and meaningless about your life because there's nothing to look forward to, you're listening to the wrong voice. Excuse me. There's a little spider friend to stop by to listen to my podcast. You're listening to the voice of constraint and lack, and not listening to the voice of truth and abundance. I want to make this, I'm not in the flow right now, but I'm going to get this shit done because I'm tired of being a loser. Can't do that. You have to refuse to be in action, to be out of action. Staying out of action is just the dumbest thing you can possibly do. It doesn't matter how much you loathe yourself and how much you want to just crawl out of your skin and be another person and live a different life and be somebody else. You are in the situation you're in. You are in the life you're in. You're in the time zone, the place, the body that you're in, and you can't get out of it until you die. So you might as well accept it and at least try to do something good with it. At least try. You have visions and you have dreams. The loss is gone. It's in your head now. The $4,000 are not in my bank account anymore. They're gone. It sucks. It sucks, man. It sucks to feel that. It sucks to accept that. It sucks to think about that. But I have to get to that place of acceptance, of looking at what has actually happened and looking at what I have done to get here. And being transparent with myself. Opening up to what actually happened and not what I'm thinking about and projecting and spiraling about what happened. Because that does not help you move forward. There's a difference. There's a difference between accepting something and allowing it to dictate your mental state and control your identity. That's what spiraling does. When you're spiraling around the idea, you're just putting all this energy into this thought. You're putting all this weight into this thought, and that is becoming your predominant frame of thinking, because perception warps perspective. What you focus on becomes the reality that you create in your mind. So if you want to create a different reality, you have to shift your perspective and you have to accept the known facts, plot them out on a map, whatever you need to do, but you have to look forward into what are you actually going to do about it now? And what can you do now? Because there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of things you can start. There's a lot of things you can keep doing. There's a lot of things you shouldn't be doing. You can evaluate those things. You can use your brain to make logical decisions. You can use your mind and you can reprogram and rewire your brain to think differently. You're not stuck with the current thoughts that you have. The current energy and the current state is not the one you have to remain in. I have to speak this over myself because I'm just so tired of living in a sub-real state of mind. A sub-engaged, a half-engaged, half-intentional, half-aware, half productive, half invested, half committed way of living. It sucks. I would rather be all in and accept my losses than be half in and dwelling on the losses that no longer exist and continually playing at half speed because of the half level result that I got in the past. And that's what, you can't let the same mistake burn you twice. Don't let the mistake that you made last month continue to burn you moving forward. Now you have to move forward. You don't have time to waste, brother. You really don't. This is all you got. This is it. You got this minute. You got tonight. You got maybe tomorrow. Maybe. But tomorrow is not guaranteed. Success is not guaranteed. Success is not guaranteed. But inconsistency is going to guarantee you the greatest level of failure you could ever possibly ask for. And that's not something you want. You don't want that. And you're probably already aware of that, so why am I telling you? Because sometimes it helps to just have the external processing mechanism happening where you can hear how stupid my thoughts sound or how real it sounds. And you can evaluate for yourself what's true. And sometimes you have to be somebody you're not to hear the voice of reason. Because if you don't put that voice out there, it's always just whispering in the back of your mind and subconsciously controlling your energy and your mood and your state on the day-to-day basis and how you show up. And you have to call that out into the open, into the reality of now to actually deal with it. So whatever you do, whatever decisions you're making, check if it's an awareness problem, an information problem, or an action problem. Most of the time, you're probably facing an action problem. So before you spend a bunch of money on the next thing, or make the irrational decision from a state of panic, ask yourself, what are the problems? What is the information I'm facing? Am I missing some information? Am I not aware of something that's going on? Have I forgotten about an opportunity? Have I forgotten about some progress? Have I forgotten who I am? Have I forgotten all the times that I absolutely got after it and actually did great? Have I forgotten all the times that God has provided for me and made a way when there wasn't a way? Have I taken action recently towards the actual goals that I want to make? Or have I just not been in action for so long that I feel like I don't know what to do, so I feel like I need more information, when in reality, I just need to take more action. I just need to step on to the discomfort. I just need to tell them the truth. I just need to be honest. I just need to forgive this situation and move on with my life. So those are the two sides of the coin in decision making, in my opinion. And maybe I'm really wrong, but I'm just taking what I've learned in my own stupid mistakes and trying to make sure that maybe you will make a little bit less of those mistakes moving forward because of my pain. So I'm just passing down the pain to help you avoid yours in the future. Maybe, no promises. But yep. That's it for today. I am thoroughly cringed out with myself, so I'm going to go kill myself and jump off the plane. Just kidding, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to bed here. Stay righteous, stay focused. Don't do anything you'd regret. But seriously, your kids need you in the future. Your mom and dad need you right now. Make them proud. Even if you feel disappointed with yourself right now, even if you feel overwhelmed by the size of your debt or the size of your dreams or the level of difficulty in the current grind that you're facing, there is a way through. That way is not avoidance, and it is not complaint. But there is a way, and by faith you will find it, because God has a way. You just gotta find it. Bye, Shishkan. Peace.